Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Neil C. Hughes, and today I'm going to be diving into the universe of digital transformation, but particularly focusing on how artificial intelligence is reshaping businesses, entire industries, and what the future holds in this domain. And I'm thrilled to have with me today the CEO of a company called Cyferd, which is a cutting-edge digital transformation startup that's offering a cloud-based data platform where businesses can shape their own solutions with low-code technology. But saying that is almost doing them a disservice because they are so much more than that. I just don't want to reveal any spoilers at the moment. So today we'll touch on everything from the broad strokes of digital transformation to the specifics of how artificial intelligence is transforming the landscape. And as he's from Leicester and I'm from Derby, maybe even talk about a little football rivalry along the way, but buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way to Leicester, where today's guest is waiting to join us today. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Perfect. Hi, Neil. Again, thank you for having me. My name is Ranjit Bahia, and I don't know how to describe what I do, but effectively, I'm a CEO, and I've run through multiple exits. So I started off in the world of pharmaceuticals, and I grew a really large pharmaceutical firm, and that was acquired in 2017. I then moved into tech, and we developed like this AI-driven, exciting alerting technology. And it went really big, really quick. So we had offshore development team of about 60 in Asia. We had an office in Dubai and then a couple of acquisitions in. And in 2020, so in 2 years, that was bought by a $6 billion US tech company that was owned by probably the biggest tech fund on the planet called Thoma Bravo. So I had to do a lot of work with those guys. And then I always had a thought process for Cyferd and also a way to sort of retransform the way private equity funds are. So that's a fund called BGI. So I sort of served my tenure with this American tech company. I'd locked in all the IP for Cyferd, and I came back and I created Cyferd, and it's grown really, really large. Cyferd right now today, we've got 2 offices in the UK, approximately 100 employees. We've got an office in New York. We've done an acquisition in Spain. There's about 30 on the ground in Spain. We've got an LLC in Dubai. And next week, I'm flying to Thailand and hopefully setting up our sort of Southeast Asian HQ in Thailand. So very exciting.
Wow, incredibly exciting times. It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. And at its core, Cyferd does aim to revolutionize digital transformation by providing a cloud data platform that ultimately empowers users with low-code capabilities. And it's such a hot topic at the moment. But for anyone listening that is hearing about you guys for the first time, can you just dive a little bit deeper into how this platform is helping shape that digital landscape and the main challenges that you're out there to address right now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice that you sort of mentioned low-code, because what happens is sometimes when you've got innovation and a new type of technology, we get put into buckets, and low code is fantastic, and there's lots of low code and no code companies out there, but they're still work. So even though they're low code, they're not low work, and they're still designed to create applications that silo data. So low code application can still take 6 months to develop with a team of humans. It just means that there's not a lot of coding involved. We are, it's hard to define. We're sort of neurogenesis. What we do is we have AI that builds the applications for you. So you put in a few keywords, just like you would use like generative AI in ChatGPT. And for example, you say Derby County Football Club, and it will build you an application on how to run and organize a football club like Derby County. That's the icing on the cake. But really what we are a team of data experts that we've learned and applied how to stream data. So we connect lots of applications together. Effectively, we become like an operating system. So if you've got a really big government entity or a big enterprise, we've got lots of moving parts, lots of offices, we can tie that all together in one operating system, Cyferd, and we use AI to do that and kind of become the Google for your business.
Derby County, you say? I think you just brought to life my my next side hustle there, right there. And of course, we were talking about low code is a broad term, and equally digital transformation is a broad term too, especially often encompassing various technologies and different strategies. So where does AI fit into this transformation, particularly into the context of Cyferd's offering? Now, you mentioned ChatGPT there, so I'm curious how it all fits together for you.
We don't end up using one type of AI, and I think that's an amazing USP for us, is that people say, oh, there's AI, and right now, generative AI is a hot topic, is a trend. Before that, it was a different type of bot technology. I mean, we've had chatbots for a long time, and that's what ChatGPT is, but effectively, we use 5 types of AI in our platform. And again, that's sort of the icing on the cake. The real star of the show is the platform. And what that means is how we use the AI. And we use sort of AI to orchestrate your business. So it runs on top, but star of the show is the platform. And the 5 types of AI we use, the main one here is neurogenesis, and that's not really AI. So AI gives you a problem. Like, I don't know, you've got, let's go back to Derby County. I'm a fan of that now. So you've got a lot of away kits and they're not being sold. The AI will tell you, hey, you've got a problem. There's a lot of away kits, so you need to get rid of them. And it's really machine learning. It's off the data that you have. What neurogenesis does is it builds an application for you. Like I said before, it's like software that writes software. So that's one type of AI. Then we use an AI called assimilate, and that's really clever. It's like unlike anything that we know that exists on the planet today. And in fact, effectively, what that does is it takes a legacy database and replicates it, brings it into the Cyferd system. So we've got access to the data. The data is the key, whether it's AI, machine learning, or how you build your business. Everything is run on data. So that's assimilate. We tie all that together with search. And once you've built those applications, you don't want to use those every day. Like if, for example, Neil, you've got lots of podcast interviews, you've got an interview, and say you're looking at a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
You can see 2,000 different podcast people. But if you could search for that changes the way you operate. And what we do is we tie all of this AI together with one search layer that just revolutionizes the way a big business uses. It effectively becomes Google. It's like you're navigating a website. And then we use analyze and predict. And they're really powerful. It's a little bit like IBM Watson and Google DeepMind, and it gives you predictions. So it understands your history, and then it gives you a prediction on what's coming next. And we're using that in healthcare right now, in oncology. In fact, diagnose cancer a little bit early, stroke patients a little bit early. So, we tie all that together and you get Cyferd. And I know it sounds like a lot, but we've been working on this for a while, and we've got some heavy data scientists building all this stuff out.
And another huge topic right now is everybody's trying to work out what that future of work will look like. There's some key themes developing already, such as working smart and not harder, being proactive rather than reactive. So with the ongoing rapid technological advancements, I'm curious, how do you see the future of work evolving, and how should businesses better position themselves to thrive in this new landscape?
Yeah, I think the thing is you've got to kind of embrace it. The first thing is, in businesses, we correctly use AI yet. So there's a lot of talk of AI, but how many businesses, how many enterprises actually use it? I don't think there's a lot. So working with Cyferd, you will actually, the core of what we do is AI and neurogenesis. So I think, and then we've got to learn that the trick here is to let it orchestrate and help you with your business, and not let it be at the core. And there is a lot of fear about it, but it's not that smart yet, right? I mean, eventually it'll probably get there, but not today. So I think we want to embrace it.
And we've already mentioned AI, and while there's a lot of enthusiasm about the potential of AI, there are, of course, equally quite a few concerns, especially when using company data. And can you share any real-world examples, or maybe even case studies, where AI, specifically through your platform, has had a transformative but positive impact on businesses? Because we've read about the bad stuff. It'd be great to hear some of the good stuff.
Yeah, we'll do it in industries, because like businesses almost get like too granular. But so look, in my world, if you're in education, you're almost a student. And if you're in healthcare, you're a patient. And if you're in employment, you're a person. And then it's that stream of data. So what we do really well is create one stream of data that flows through your industry or your business. And then the application, instead of it siloing chunks of that data, is almost like a lens that looks into the data, right? So if you were in healthcare, we use AI to help us quickly build applications and access that data at the speed of light that would take the NHS or a hospital maybe 2 years and £2 million. We can do that now in 2 minutes without a cost attached. For example, I won't go into names, but one of the trusts needed a bed management system and their waiting rooms were behind. And look, the key there is capacity and demand. They have a lot of demand. There's a lot of, and we think there's not enough capacity, but the truth is the data siloed. So what we can use AI to do there is say, hey, build me a bed management system. Now we're not waiting 12 hours to know about a bed that's vacant. And I'm not saying this is everyone, like they could be trusts out there that are even more efficient than this one that we helped. But say they don't have a software to manage their bed management, and you can quickly put in build me a bed management system, and it goes away, does its thing. Now it knows within minutes that bed's available, and maybe we're not waiting 6 hours, 8 hours. All of a sudden, the capacity is there to help meet demand and waiting room time shrink. And we can do that again with ambulance report. And we know now when ambulances are coming in and what beds are available, we can cross-reference, and effectively we shrink those times. We help healthcare become more efficient. In education, which is near and dear to my heart, I think young people are the future, and I do as much as I can to help youth, and my team will testify to that. We build innovation hubs with universities and help them and help those young minds build applications using this AI and help the universities accelerate. And if you look at all of the big tech companies, a lot of them, Facebooks, Instagrams, Ubers, Googles, they all come straight from youth applications in universities. And I'm working really hard to connect to universities and connect those students and use Cyferd as a platform to innovate and build on. Same in employment.
And I think we should also possibly talk about the apprehensions that surround AI many times, because businesses, industries, and indeed individuals often harbour fears around artificial intelligence, and they're quite far-ranging as well, from job displacement to loss of human touch in services. So you must get this a lot. So how does Cyferd approach these concerns, and what messages do you have for possibly any skeptics that are listening?
Yeah, I think what I tend to say is this. So I say, look, you use technology to help mitigate risk, create efficiency, run 24/7, and help remove you from those main mundane tasks. So if you've got a team that are working on a repetitive, mundane task, and they will make errors. It's humans. We all make mistakes. Now, if we can use AI to help that, we can use that team of humans to do other things. So it's not replacing those humans, it's working with those humans. And I think that's the future. The other thing here is evolution, right? So like, Neil, you know this. I don't know. I don't want to say, hey, how old are you? But like, I don't know when you saw the first mobile phone, right? And then it went to a smaller one, and then the tiny Nokias, and now we're on smartphones that are more powerful than rockets that went to the moon originally. And it's the same with technology. Like, computers used to be cassette, and then they went to silicon chips. And then in the next 5 or 6 years, it's going to be quantum computing, which is at the atomic level. Quantum computing's, they say, is going to be millions of times more powerful than what we have today. So we have to embrace it. It's evolution. It's just, it's just what humans create, ways to become more efficient, tools.
Yeah, you bang on the money there. And yes, I am a man of a certain age, before mobiles, before home internet. And I do remember loading up cassette tapes on my Commodore 64.
Yeah, I've got a question for you. So, when you were at Derby County, did you have one of those spinny rattly things? Or were you?
Yes, back in the day, I was on pop side and shaking one of those football rattlers, stood on a milk crate. Yeah. And you did mention earlier on in the podcast about neural genesis. Sounds incredibly exciting. So can you provide any insights around how neural genesis and other AI solutions offered by Cyferd are enabling businesses not just to adapt, but also excel in the current digital era?
Yeah, neurogenesis. So, firstly, the name is like so. It was actually like an epiphany. I remember speaking to my wife, and I'm like, "Oh man, we've got this idea," and it was crazy. I remember speaking to my team, my CTO, and like everyone's looking at me with like, "Rand, you're crazy." But effectively, neurogenesis in a young child is the most active part of the brain when pathways connect, and they're like a sponge learning everything. And neurogenesis, I feel, is almost like in its infancy. It's right now. It's the technological equivalent of that, and it is really sometimes like sometimes I have client requests and they say, "All right, build me this," and they come up with crazy responses. I remember I was meeting a politician. He was a former deputy prime minister of a Middle Eastern country, and he says, "Build me this," and this export system or this. And he just built it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So sometimes even I'm like, "What's going on here?" But that's neurogenesis. That's what we built. The vision with us has been it's been an idea for that. Even though we started applying it in January 2021 because I had to go through a couple of acquisitions. The idea has been around since 2018, and we've been working on this for a while. Things like ChatGPT have just accelerated it because now the world knows about AI a little bit. We're different, but we still use generative AI. We still use large language models, but we just do it in a different way. Instead of giving you a textual report or an essay and splicing external works, we sit on your data in your environment. So if you're a business, we sit on top of your data. Our LLM understands what you're trying to build, and it can access your data and build an application to help harness and stream that data.
Incredibly cool. And before you came on the podcast, in the media here in the UK government has revealed ambitious plans of becoming an AI superpower. So I'm curious, how do you see this regulatory landscape evolving, and what role do companies like Cyferd play in influencing or adapting to these regulations?
So I'm a big fan of regulation. Cyferd is hugely regulated. We have Cyber Essentials first, ISO 9001. We are even we're NIST aligned. That's like a new American standard. And the head of my security, I'll give him a shout out. His name's Gavin. He's coming from a military background. He's amazing. He does all this. Even in the pipeline, we have a subsidiary that's harnessing the power of neurogenesis to work on cybersecurity and regulations. That's all coming soon. So I'm a fan, is what I'm trying to say. UK's ambition of becoming a superpower, AI superpower, it's just not going to happen. It's just talk. It's just media. Like they just do not support. And this is a complete other podcast, but they just do not support UK companies. And it's in the press. You'll see it. Yeah. Our best and brightest companies are being forced to leave because we just don't have the support, and everyone else is supporting. So even us, like every day I'll get approached from the Middle East, and you hear about what I'm doing with Southeast Asia, and it's to a point where deputy prime ministers will fly in from other countries to meet with us, but we can't get a meeting with the assistant of the assistant of the assistant of someone like George Freeman, who's head of state here. So they don't support us. I think that's propaganda. However, the second part of the question, I think, talk about regulate landscape. Big fan of that, and I think we should be regulated. Whereas regulate as much as we can be, and we'll help others.
Fantastic, and it's great. It's interesting to hear that, and I think maybe that's something we should explore in another episode, maybe later in the year or early next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I was speaking on capital markets at Cambridge, part of a roundtable there, and the discussion came up again about the London Stock Exchange and things like that, and why we don't get the best and brightest companies, why we're not as big as NASDAQ, why we're not as aggressive, and it all comes down to government support. So I'll tell you a few stories if we get the chance to speak again that happened to us, where these politicians, they don't care, but if it's re-election, then they're all over us, and then they want a photo op. So but another time, another day.
Yeah, 100%. No, that is something we'll definitely explore, maybe before the next election or just after.
Yeah.
But, given your vast experience, though, in this digital transformation space and your future vision for Cyferd, on behalf of any startup founders or business leaders listening anywhere in the world, is there any advice you'd give to a business, both established and startups, on embracing and integrating AI into their operations effectively? Because you've kind of mastered this, or you appear to have mastered this. I'd love to hear any advice that you could offer.
Yeah. Again, amazing question. I think, look, number one is think big or go home. I'm a big fan of that. I think be bold. Don't let people tell you no. Like, my whole life, that's all I've ever heard. Oh, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
And my mentality is, you think it's not going to work, and I do. So I've spent my whole life fighting powers that will tell you no, right? Like, and I'm doing it again at a completely different level here. So, like, acquisition 1 had its people, naysayers, let's say. Acquisition 2 was the same. This one, we want to try and exit Cyferd in, we want to try and take this one public. And again, the way companies are funded, it's a completely gentleman, it's run by gentleman's club VCs. You've got some kid coming out of school that's been hired by these VCs trying to tell you what to do and how to grow. So it's the entire landscape of how companies grow. So advice, first thing I say is, don't let people tell you no. If you believe it, if you're passionate about it, do it. The other thing is you use technology to your advantage. So I'm really passionate about this topic, and we are building with the support of a local mayor's office, an R&D hub, 60,000 square feet. I do a lot of work with universities, and I want to incubate. So I want kids coming out of school, out of universities who've got great ideas. I want to support them. I want to help them build technology using this Cyferd platform. So if we've got great technology, great AI, then we just need a thought process behind it, right? And neurogenesis can be so wide. Like, someone could go, okay, I want to build a sports scouting system for underprivileged kids, whatever it is. Yeah. You can now build that. Now it becomes how you apply it. So, I really want Cyferd to be at the core of that. So, and funding too. With a fund, we want to have entrepreneurs, investors, and people, not to have people that own big chunks of their company, and give them a way to move forward. And I want to help however I can. So, it's something that we're actively engaged in.
So lovely to hear that, giving back to the community. And I think we've all focused on being heads down, moving forwards. And we often talk about the celebration at the top of the mountain, but very seldom do we talk about that 10-year overnight success story, the climb up to the top of that mountain, and also the people that help us along the way. So I'm going to ask you to go back in time for a few moments now, because none of us are able to achieve any degree of success without a little help along the way. So is there a particular person that you're grateful towards? Maybe they invested a little time in you. Maybe they saw something in you, or just helped you get where you are today. We can give a little shout out to.
Have you heard that story about it takes a village to raise a child? I think there'll be personal people in your journey, but in my journey, there are multiple people, strong women, strong men, and I think the key here is to learn from the positive. I think one of the great role models was my grandfather. Just learned that relentlessness from him. He was just relentless in his approach, just very proud. Your name is everything, like that sort of stuff. So what he does is he teaches an ethical way to behave, relentlessness, and then like people like my dad, ultimate diplomat, right? And then it's diplomacy. You don't have to be combative with people, positive energy. You got people like my brother who are absolutely fierce. You get fierceness from them. And then ultimately, one of the best people I know on the planet, smartest person, is my wife. And she's like the calm to my rage, the yin to my yang. And everything is about balance. So again, I don't think I'm a success without any of these people. But the point is, those people in your life, you just got to learn from them. And people know who they are. Like, you just got to learn from that influence and just take it and use it, push out the negative. Right?
100% with you. I think that's an inspirational moment to end on. But before I do let you go, for anyone listening wanting to find out more information about anything we talked about today, the work that you're doing, keeping up with the progress, contact you or your team, what's the best starting point for everything?
Website, just Google Cyferd, that's Cyferd, cyferd.com. There's a lot of us around. You'll find us on the internet. Come see us. That'd be great. And I just want to say thank you for having me once again. And everything you've said here, right back at you. I see all the hard work that you're putting in. I see thousands of podcasts you're doing. And we're from the same neighborhood. I'm going to extend our neighborhood and say congratulations. Well done on your success. More of it.
You are a gentleman, sir. I absolutely love chatting with you today. We covered so much in a short amount of time as well, from insights into the future of work, digital transformation strategies, overcoming fears around AI, how AI solutions and specifically neurogenesis can enable digital transformation, leverage AI, machine learning and all that stuff. But I think more than anything, the big message at the end, it's the importance of balance, positive energy, the importance of family and learning from those around you, surrounding yourself with greatness. Absolutely inspirational. So thank you for sharing your story with me today.
Thank you for having me, Neil. I'll speak to you in the future.
What a fantastic conversation. Just sitting to click with today's guest instantly. I absolutely love chatting with him. And I think we explored not only the innovations of Cyferd's cloud platform, but also the transformative potential of AI and the positive impacts on the business world, the ROI, the business value, the important stuff. And as we all move into this evolving landscape, embracing digital transformation, which is a journey, not a destination, AI becomes more crucial. And remember, the future is not just about using technology, it's about understanding and leveraging it to its fullest potential. But what an inspirational guy. And if you've got a similar story you want to share, or you just want to make a few comments or leave a few questions about today's guest, whatever it may be, please, I'm the easiest guy in the world to find. Techblogwriter@outlook.com, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, just at Neil C. Hughes. Nice and easy. But let's keep this conversation going. But that's it for now. Clocking off time for me. So I'll return again bright and early tomorrow. But thank you for listening as always. And until next time, don't be a stranger.